Yo, 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 what is going on, peeps? We back in the hizzy for What If Episode 5, What If Zombies? You know what? It's a questionable title, but who really cares? This episode's fucking awesome. But before we get into that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back. I hope you guys got a beer, soda, water if you're 5 years old or younger, maybe a juice box, but you guys probably can't comprehend us right now. But who really fucking cares? We are here talking about the fifth episode of What If, and that is the zombie episode. Honestly, I wasn't expecting this one this week. I thought it was going to be next week, like episode 6 or 7. But let's just get straight into our thoughts and opinions on this one. I thought this one was fucking insane, and I didn't expect Disney to go dark like this. And I feel like we've said this with the Doctor Strange episode, the event, What If the Avengers Died episode. But it seems like most of this season has been kind of brutal. The Doctor Strange deals with depression and loss. And the third episode with the Avengers and the Zombies episode both deal with people getting limbs torn off, blown up, looking like ghoulish fools. I love this episode straight off, but let's get into your opinions, guys. Deebs, what did you think about the overall thing of this episode?
First off, I'm going to say fuck the Cowboys. It is officially NFL season. I can't not say that.
This is a comic podcast.
I don't care. I don't care, no.
I just came out of nowhere.
All right.
I'm so mad.
Oh, yeah, man. You have no idea. You have no idea. Look at me. Look.
You're red, bro.
Lie. That is a straight lie. That's a straight lie. There's no love. Not love games here. All right. I think we can all agree that if like Marvel and Zombieland had a baby, this is exactly what this episode would look like. I think it did a really good job of balancing that fine line between, especially tonally, between Zombieland and The Walking Dead. Like you said, Ryan, it's crazy how you had this like tragic and depressing Doctor Strange episode last week. The episode before that, you had pretty much all the Avengers die. By the way, Hank Pym has like killed all the OG Avengers in this series. Got to give props to my man Hank Pym, who is just killing it in this series. And then I thought this episode was really fun. There's a lot of clips. I did have problems with this episode that I'm excited to get into. It was fun though overall until we got to Zombie Wanda, which was terrifying. I thought the comedy was really strong. I can't wait to talk about that. The writing was really good. It had this like weird balance between it didn't really know what it wanted to be. It was like the Haunted Mansion at Disney World. It was like, are we going to be scary? Or are we going to be funny? I don't know, but we're going to be somewhere in between. I really thought it was a strong episode this week. I enjoyed it.
No, honestly, I definitely agree with that. And something I want to point out real quick is something I was really shocked with. And that was the dude who voiced Peter Parker in this episode. And that was Hudson Thomas. If you didn't tell me that Tom Holland didn't return for this show, I would have easily been fooled because he did a really good job at being Tom's Spider-Man to a point where it was really hard to differentiate. But I really like that. I hope they do that with the Tony Stark voice actor. I don't know who it is, but in the next episode, I think we might be getting that Tony Stark and Killmonger episode. But let's go down the list. What about you, Lo? What did you think about this episode, my man?
It was wonderful. Honestly, despite I had very similar concerns as Dibes and a couple minor hiccups here and there, the overall story that they presented to us was just classic zombie horror. Like getting this ragtag group of heroes. It's always not sexy, right? Like you're not going to get your favorite people in a group of people surviving a horror movie. It's always like someone cool dies and then like it's like someone you never expect to be the hero of the day. And I love that concept. I love the way they presented the set pieces, having the train to travel to possibly find a cure, and then the big twist, like, oh wait, it's not exactly a cure, but you know there's a secret for them waiting there, and then the final journey, moving on from losing part of the group. There was just so many elements of the story that I think hit really well emotionally. Like you said, the voice acting was great. I did have issues with the humor though. Some parts, the humor just didn't feel appropriate. And I understand that. Well, I saw a lot of people complaining on the internet about Bucky's quip on Falcon after Falcon got sliced in half.
Right.
And it did feel odd, but to be fair, this was before Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They weren't really friends yet. So I get that. But then my thing was I didn't like the end of the line joke. I think that crossed the line for me because it's like, dude, like, there's no way Bucky would be that way, even if it was a zombie. So, but minus that, though, overall, I really enjoyed the episode. It's honestly my favorite of the season so far. It shows what Marvel can do, thinking outside of the box.
Yeah, Lo, you hit it right on the head. And I think something that might not have been so obvious, I guess you can say, or more of a personal liking within this episode, is the cast seemed very diverse on the tier level of those characters. We had our tier 1 characters with Spider-Man. I don't want to say Ant-Man because it was just Paul Rudd's head most of the episode. Eva Jean Lilly is the Wasp, stuff like that. We had those type of characters, but then we also had Happy Hogan. We had Kurt. We had Okoye. We had Sharon Carter. Like it's a really cool and diverse list. And I gotta say, it was really nice seeing T'Challa walk off the helicarrier, or I always forget what the ships are called.
Quinjet?
Quinjets. Yeah, stepping off the Quinjet with the Avengers, and they just absolutely get slaughtered. And I'm like, you know what? Thank God they saved him and just cut his leg off. Big blood. That's so funny to me. But what about you, AJ? What did you generally think about this episode?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It wasn't as good as the last one we just watched last week, but I did enjoy how each of the zombies were unique to their characters respectfully. I like how that they didn't like water down any of the characters. For example, you have Captain America, who was still a badass, even as a zombie. You had Hope Van Dyne, still a badass, even as a zombie. Iron Man. I disagree with Lo a little bit on the humor. I actually enjoyed all of the humor.
Yeah.
Agree.
I agree. Oh, sorry. I want to. I'm sorry.
Especially when we see Iron Man and Captain America and just the OG Avengers trying to save the day, and then you just see see Ant-Man just bite Captain America's neck. There was just those type of humors that I really enjoyed within this episode. So the humor for me was perfect. The action was good. I'm not going to really get into the look of the animation or anything like that because I would be repeating myself over and over again. But other than that, I really did enjoy this episode.
No, honestly, I absolutely agree with everything that we've just said. I agree with AJ more about the humor than Loretto because Loretto just doesn't like laughing in life for whatever reason. But something I do got to say, though, is that entire sequence of when they met up with Vision and you saw like the zombies weren't going into the facility, even though they had every option to. There was a open door right there for them, but Vision did. He's like, no, motherfucker, don't do this. And then we see Zombie Wanda, which I wasn't expecting. It was something just so out there and odd. Like, bro, what would the like sorceress of magic, like the person with all the magic in the world, is pretty much what we've learned from WandaVision going into Doctor Strange 2, which she has wrapped her filming in that show, guys. Or movie, not show. I got to start remembering. But that's not the point, bitches. You know what I got to say to that is it was fun as fuck. And I think it benefited a little bit that it came out after WandaVision. I felt like after that show, you had a little bit more compassion towards their relationship. So I think that worked really well. But did anyone else have like any problems other than the humor itself?
So it's weird. Like it all goes back to the tone of this episode. I agree, AJ. I agree, Ryan. Sorry, Lo, you're wrong. Again, the humor in this episode was terrific. I thought it was absolutely pinpoint. I was laughing a lot. The problem was it was just used for the wrong episode. I just don't think it fit. It was like that like James Gunn-esque type of humor in a zombie episode. It just didn't seem like it hit exactly where like Happy crushed it. Happy had like 3 scenes, and he was wearing like the one scene where it said like I'm not single. I'm saving myself for Thor t-shirt. And then you had the shout out back to Spider-Man Homecoming, I think, where he's like on a webcam and he's taking a video of himself in a zombie movie. It didn't really work for me because just you had like, you look at the way this episode proceeded, like there was more gore in this than you would see probably in like a Walking Dead episode. Like it went there and they actually absolutely crushed it. But then you have Happy saying bam, 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 bam.
I love it.
Yes, it works, AJ, but not in this episode. If that,
I'll play devil's advocate right now. Earlier you mentioned that it was a mix of like MCU meets Zombieland. And what is Zombieland? It is nothing but gore and laughter within Zombieland. Yeah. So for me, it fits perfectly because it fits that Zombieland type of narrative.
But
and Happy seems like he would do that too. I mean, did we all not see Far From Home? He tried throwing a shield like Captain America at a fucking 500-pound drone, and he's like, "How does Cap do it?" I fully believe that he would do this in a zombie apocalypse. Blam, 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 blam.
And for someone who lives in Pennsylvania, I fully laughed out loud with the New Jersey joke. That was also terrific. Like. Yes, well, how could things get any worse for going to Jersey or something along those lines? Nobody likes living in Jersey.
Okay, I want to present something because here was my issue with it, and this is the biggest problem I have. I feel like, I understand the format of the show, I understand time constraints, but I would have loved to see like an extended episode of just this because I liked it so much.
100%.
Like it was rushed and like. It's like, hey, zombie Thanos, and it's over. Wait, what? Like, I wanted so much more, and like, I feel like an hour it would have been awesome. Shit, I would watch a fucking movie of this. Pardon me.
I was actually too. I've been waiting for them to do a zombie Marvels project or Marvel Zombies project. Like, that it's such a cool fucking idea to make superheroes into zombies. Like, it's so simple, but this episode proves that I think it could work even in live action.
Nobody questions why the Avengers zombies have powers and the regular people don't have powers. Like, did anybody like? I'm watching this and I'm seeing like Wong get beheaded after like using his Harry Potter magic, and then you see all these different Avengers have powers and be able to control and use all their amazing abilities. I don't get it. Did anybody, or am I thinking too much?
I really like that. It just shows that they are able to keep their abilities, even though it's a zombie outbreak. I just feel like it works better that way, especially that it's a superhero show. You need some type of variety from superheroes to just regular people, because you do see regular people as zombies and they don't really do much. But
you know, logistically, I don't want to nitpick, but like it seems like their intelligence shouldn't grant them the ability to use their powers. That's my only issue with it, but it's still fun.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that. I'm gonna copy AJ right there, but I think it's really unique of an idea to allow them to use their abilities as if they're humans, just as zombies. Because what do we find frightening about zombies nowadays? We don't find the slow crawling ones scary. We like to see the fully evolved, the ones that run sprint at you, and the ones that use their mind. So how could you incorporate that idea within a superhero genre that's also a zombie movie? And that's allowing them to use their powers, which I think is really fucking dope and just makes the stakes that much harder. So it's almost like an evil Avengers movie to a certain extent, but it's also a zombie movie if they ever made one.
So can we assume that if Thanos is a zombie, that Thor and the Guardians and all of them in Wakanda are also zombies? Is that what everyone's thinking?
Yes.
I don't know about the ones in space.
Maybe they're alive, and we're gonna just find out in the next. Because I'm sure they're gonna follow up the story.
What about Captain Marvel too?
I mean, if Thanos is a zombie, maybe he got it in some, it carried over somehow. I don't know. Maybe you're right.
So, well, my thing is that my only issue is how did Hank go into space to turn them into zombies, even though he was just on Earth? That's the only thing that confused me. Unless it's Yeah, I don't know, especially since they explained that the quantum realm was the catalyst of the zombie outbreak, and it went into, but it doesn't explain how they went into space and Thanos got the what is it, the virus, and then you have Obsidian Midnight and you have Cole, and you
Ebony
just have
Maw.
these other characters that didn't get it's a little confusing and it's a little weird, but
The Black Order has been getting destroyed in this series. Like,
Yeah,
they
ever
can't
since
get anything right.
Infinity War, they just can't even hold their own anymore. They just absolutely get like fucking shit showed. Like in
Yeah.
Endgame, as soon as they went to war, they all died.
Yeah.
Like
Same with
none of
Sharon.
them held up.
Sharon's like just getting shit on by the MCU. She's just
And then you go to like
continuously-
Infinity War, bro. Like Proxima Midnight's fighting like 3 Avengers at once. You know what I mean? It's fucking great. But I gotta ask you guys something. What did you think about Zombie Thanos? Because I thought the imagery was kind of fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I know the animation itself is a little iffy, but I thought it looked really cool in this moment in particular. I don't know if any of you feel the same way, or do you think they're using this too as like a post-credit scene for the next zombie episode within the MC or within What If? Because we know we're getting a second season, we know that they're going to start doing sequels to these episodes, and they've obviously teased it. And at the end of the episode, we've got Black Panther with one leg, we've got Ant-Man's head, and
Can we-
then we got Spider-Man.
after this, I have another thing to bring up too.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think about that? If you have any dying opinions about it, feel free to blurt it out. If not, I guess we can just go to Deeb's thing.
No, it just goes right off of what Loretto said, is that I wish we had an hour of this. Like, I want to know how Thanos became a zombie. Like, all of these ideas are amazing. It just needs to be more fleshed out. It just felt rushed. The tone was just up and down and all over the place. That doesn't mean I didn't have fun with it. I loved it. It was a really fun episode. It just felt rushed, and I just wish like this could be like that, like Dave Filoni 4-episode arc where we have a little bit more time with what transpired. Because you look at like the moments were terrific with Hope and Hulk versus Zombie Wanda, and there's like amazing moments in this episode. They just need more time.
I think that's done intentionally, to be honest. So
I think for what they're doing with What If and their animation side is that they're trying to come up with these ideas that way they can bring them to the big screen. So if What If episode 5 did really good, and then Kevin Feige was like, "Hey, let's make this into a live action movie or a series," and I think that would be pretty cool, and that would be a pretty cool concept to do.
Pretty cool.
So no, dude, this is how I think they're doing it.
Amazing. Oh my god.
Deebs, I can explain your problem right here, right now. So if we think about every episode we've seen 5 episodes. I feel like the ones where they've taken a spin on a story we already know, they've followed the same exact beats, but then they add their own little twist here and there. So that allows us to fill in those gaps that when they make those original episodes, we don't get. So I think they're using the original idea episodes for feedback to see if people want to see more in that own universe or movie itself. And I think it's a smart move because look at us here. We're bitching and complaining because we want another hour of this shit. You know what I mean? And like personally, I would love a live action version of this, but I know that's a stretch. I know that's a stretch. And you know what? I'll compromise with an animated movie. You know what? I fucking like it.
AJ, chills, like straight goosebumps when you said like a potential live action zombie movie MCU, like on this side, on this top right corner, straight chills like that. I can't even wrap my. That's like the Batman. That's like Matt Reeves, the Batman. Like I can't even wrap my head around how excited I would be.
I think it makes the most sense, especially since not a lot of people really care for animation. So if a episode does really, really well and is pretty popular, I think it makes the most sense for Kevin Feige to come up with these ideas and bring them to the big screen.
After the Captain Carter, the Captain Carter movie.
Well, I'd rather take Marvel Zombies movie over Captain Carter movie.
You're right. I take
any
it back.
day,
I take
dude.
it back. I take it back.
I'm like, I love Captain Carter, Haley Atwell.
I mean, they
I
don't
like,
have
I
to
love you.
take the exact story beats from each episode. They can take like popular characters from a specific episode and bring them to the big screen, or like I said, story ideas and bring it to the big screen. It doesn't have to be one specific thing.
If they don't tease it in
This
the
is-
Multiverse of Madness, I'm gonna be mad.
No,
That's
this is
all I'll
like
say.
everything we're seeing here. Correct me if I'm wrong, AJ. But my whole vibe with all of this is like they're gonna save this for like Disney Plus events, like crossover.
I hope so.
But so like Young Avengers, eventually Young Avengers hits Disney Plus as a series. Like Captain Carter make an appearance. This Doctor Strange make an appearance. Like different types of heroes and villains going in and out of like Young Avengers or anything Disney Plus pumps out TV series wise going down the road. That's how I see this proceeding. Any thoughts?
No, I like the idea. Either way, it would be a good idea if it's either on Disney Plus live action or in theaters live action.
Dude,
That's
I'm
the
so-
most
Just
popular-
need live action of this.
It's the
That's
most
moral of the story.
popular. It's the most popular thing that helps people come into the movie theaters or just recognize the Marvel IP. It just makes the most sense.
I'm still geeking out over this MCU zombie live action.
I just wonder, like, would a live action MCU
Make Deadpool the
R-rated
main
zombie
protagonist
film,
as for the zombie movie. That would be
I'm in. I love it.
bro? Like, we're getting ourselves way too excited, and you know what?
That's the point.
That's the point, bro. That's the point. And we're sitting here drowning in our sorrows because we know this is a very, 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 like, when I say very long, I mean like fucking long, bro. Like 20 fucking Earths long. That's how big of a stretch that idea I feel is. But you know what? If we keep hip hip hooray, be like Marvel, come to me, show me love, give me affection. Maybe we'll get it one day. But does anyone want to touch on any more notes? Actually, one more thing. I thought it was really cool to see a giant wasp become a zombie. You know what I mean? Just see. I don't know. I thought
what's
it was
funny
pretty
is
cool.
that was the first thing I thought of when she was like, "All right, I sacrificed myself. Goodbye." But in my head, I was like, "Why didn't you shrink? You're gonna come back big."
Yeah, you're gonna fuck everyone over. Like, you help them, but you're easily gonna fuck them over right away. But you know what? Let's get into our final thoughts and our grades. Let's hit it to you, AJ, man. What do you think about the entirety of this episode? And what would you grade it?
9.5 will be my grade.
Okay. I'm feeling really good about this episode, guys, you know, because AJ 9.5, that's very high for my man. So you guys stay in your seats. What about you, Loretto? What did you finally think of this episode and what would you grade it?
So real quick, I just want to say how underrated it was. Like the small moments of horror they did have. Like you guys talked about Zombie Wanda, but like the way it was shot was very like horrifying, and like the glowing red and the sheer terror of a Scarlet Witch zombie. Like, so overall, I thought that was done really well. I also like the zombies on the tracks and like, you know, them trying to start the train, and it just made for like really good suspense, I think. Overall, it's my favorite episode so far, honestly, even despite some of my minor nitpicks. It's just minor. That's just me being a fan, because like for the sane people, not the insane people, but for the sane people, we nitpick because we care. The insane people just nitpick to cause fires and cause chaos. But anyways, long story short, I'll give this, because it's spooky season, 9.666.
9.666. I love it.
You're really trying to fuck us over now, man. Okay, what about you, Deebs? What did you finally think of this episode? What would you grade it?
Last week's episode was way better. I'm sorry. It was start to finish a more beautiful episode. This was really fun, and I'm going to call it the second best episode of the season.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Last week I gave it a 9.5, and I loved the tragic, depressing. I'm sorry, maybe that's just my personality. I don't know, but it just worked for me on all levels. There were so many great moments. Just last week, just like this week, there were great moments. But in terms of an episode, like standalone episode, I was just so much more satisfied with the Doctor Strange episode for me. So I gave Doctor Strange a 9.5. I'm going to give this my second favorite episode of the season. I'll go a 9.37984.
Jesus Christ.
Good episode.
Damn, bro.
He's
Shit.
taking it too far now.
Oh, man.
9.3784.
You know what, guys?
So specific.
I got to tell you something. I think this might be the most generally liked between the four of us episode of What If so far. And you know
Was
what I
that
gotta say? What is going on, Leo? And you know what, my man? My mic is looking good. I got my studio. I got my studio light.
You're not holding it.
Station, right, bro? Oh my god! But you know what I gotta say to this round? This episode is a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I fucking love this episode, bro. Honestly, it helps that I'm massively in love with zombies and I'm massively in love with Marvel. So when you take two things I'm massively in love with, you're going to make the love child of the fucking century. That's all I'm going to say. But you know what? I hope they do continue this in at least season 2 of What If, because I feel like that'd be the next spot we see Marvel zombies. But hopefully down the line, we get that live action, if not fully animated film. And yeah, dude, this is my 10 of the 10 of the year from fucking Marvel so far, bro. But you know what? I appreciate it. I love this episode. And you know what's great? I don't know what any more episodes are this season other than the Tony Stark one. And I like to keep it that way. So you know what, guys? We will see you next week. Same time as always, Thursdays. 4 p.m. Not 4 p.m. Eastern. I am definitely smoking crack. 7 p.m. Eastern. I was thinking of tomorrow's show for whatever reason. I did it again. I keep switching them around. But yes, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you know what, guys? We'll see you tomorrow and next week for What If episode 6. And then tomorrow we are doing another versus series. You know what? We figured we'd pick it back up. It was going a little dry on the season of the channel here, so we brought the versus back. You guys know what we're doing in inspiration and honor of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. We were doing Raid 1 versus Raid 2. So check that out tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. There we go. I got the right time this time, guys. So put it on your calendar. And you know what I got to say to that? I hope you guys have a damn good night and see you on the next one.